Dad's quest domestically is done and he resigns from Bayern Munich and immediately puts his interest into Juventus, who still have a manager at this point. Meanwhile, I was targeting that Croatian midfielder that rejected Dad last season for Liverpool, and he's on the transfer list. But at least Dad holds no grudges for the player. But out of nowhere, Newcastle went under a transfer embargo because of a looming takeover, and all of the transfer dealings I had done were cancelled. A couple of weeks later, and the takeover was complete, a new chairman, and according to the news reports, it's a new tycoon as well. Back to job vacancies, and the Schalke manager Tits has left the club, who are also in the Europa League this upcoming season. And they're also bidding for some of my players too. Dad didn't fancy it though, because their key player was pretty average compared to the players he's used to. Man City made an approach for Dad, and the only up for taking that role would be to stop me from winning the FA Cup, but ultimately Dad passed on that opportunity as well, because it was World Cup year and that was well underway, which would cause more jobs to become free. Like the Barcelona vacancy, which very rarely pops up. And they wanted to interview Dad, as well as me too, to be fair. A string of more jobs came through, but again, nothing in the Europa League, and Dad's hopes started to dwindle. Meanwhile, my director of football Klopp was targeted by Napoli, and he decided to leave, meaning I had to find myself a new one right before the season. Jackpot for Dad though, as Unai Emery left Juventus to take the PSG job, and Juve of course have Europa League this season. And it wasn't long before Dad was invited for an interview. Just like that, Dad's quest for Europa League is underway at Juventus as they hire him as their new manager. Right, well done Dad, you found a team in the Europa League.
Yeah. I was lucky to get in, I
do.
think. So we had to wait for a couple of managers moving around, didn't we? And eventually he left.
Yeah. Which, again, you kind of are learning from, because the Schalke job was there. You could have gone there. No, you waited. Juve eventually come up, which is really the one that you kind of wanted, I guess.
Well, out of the two teams, Juventus did have the better team. They haven't got a great team, but they did have a better team, where the other team just had no players whatsoever to work with. So I knew I'd struggle if I went there. And to be honest, I've only got one season to play with. I could be at Juventus, not do it, and I might have to move again. So
Unai Emery left the club, went to PSG, which was another job that came up again and again and again. We keep joking about, if that job ever comes up, you got to go for it. How many times has that job come up? It's been ridiculous. So you joined Juventus. I stayed at Newcastle, of course, trying to get that FA Cup. Dad is one step ahead of me, but let's have a look at the signings that you did make. Now, you had zero budget when you came in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I had to sell a few players to try and create a bit of money. Yeah,
you sold a couple of players, including this one here, which was 20 million, but you only got 60% of it. So you raised £23 million here in Santiago Jimenez. You had no left back.
No left backs is unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you had to bring in left back.
I had a right back playing left back who wasn't very good at right back, neither was he?
Yeah.
So.
But you have actually got one of the best right backs in the world.
Oh, unbelievable! He was my star player from the start. So I knew I wasn't going to struggle in that position. So he was right there.
And then let's not talk about this man, because he's a non-EU unregistered player.
I didn't see that when I was trying to buy him, did I? I mean, as it happens, we couldn't register him at the end, could we?
No.
Just before the season started. Well, after the transfer window. But as it happens, I actually changed my formation for what I bought that player for.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing too well. So doesn't really affect me, because I can't play him anyway. So
yeah, I mean, he would have been a good centre back cover option.
Yeah, that was. I'm just annoyed with myself, because there was a couple of English players that I could have bought, and I was thinking,
well,
to myself,
English would have still been non-EU.
Well, that's why I didn't buy them.
Oh, right.
I looked at them and thought, they're English. They were good, and I thought, no, they're English. I can't buy them.
Yeah.
So I kept away from the English players, and I just didn't notice that this
guy
guy
for an
was...
Argentinian instead. So tactically, you mentioned you changed it. This is what you've changed it to, a 4-3-1-2 narrow formation. It's not a bad formation. You've used it in the past before. You've got some key players in there. Guerrero is one of them.
Yeah.
He's not the best type of player that we've seen recently, but he is one of your best players.
Yeah. I got two good forwards as well. So there's my right back. He's amazing. Isn't he?
He's mustard. He's very good. You got Fran, who used to be my player, and I sold him to them. 30 years of age.
His finish is in 10, but it's not brilliant. But
19 composure though.
Yeah, so he takes his time, then he misses.
And then Mendes up top is your
main
key striker, your main striker. Yeah. Again, not amazing.
No.
But there we go.
And I've got a really good goalkeeper as well. So
yes, you do have a good goalie, because I was actually eyeing him up myself.
Yeah, you were, yeah.
But I didn't go for him. Now, the start of your season.
Yeah, ain't too good.
Lost 3 games, including the rivalry against Lazio. That's not very good there.
That's where I changed my tactic tonight.
Yeah.
So my next game I came against Inter, who were champions last season, so
Yeah.
I was happy with the one. You know, I was still lost, but I was happy it was only 1-0.
Yeah, the only game you did win was a 4-1 win against Fiorentina.
Yeah.
But, of course, you don't really care about the Serie A. You just got to make sure you don't get sacked because of a bad result. You care about the Europa League.
Yeah.
And your teams going into the Europa League, you should qualify.
One team I didn't want to see in the Europa League was Tottenham.
Yeah, but I think the rest of the teams are poor
Yeah.
enough for you to manage to
Oh,
scrape
yeah,
through.
I'm hoping I'll go through with that quite easily. So,
I mean, if you're looking at the league, we can. You can't do preview on who's favourite. You might be somewhere else, but if you're looking down, you've got a former club there in Nice who are okay. Atalanta, I think I stole their best player.
yeah, you did.
So
Yeah, I was pleased
that
to
might
see
be an
that.
advantage.
Yeah.
Villarreal are okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen Schalke is already in there. Fulham have some really good players.
They
in
did.
this.
They're amazing.
They've
players,
got
aren't they?
Nick Carter up top, who is absolutely
Yeah.
incredible and could win a game by himself. I mean, he hasn't scored that many goals throughout the years, but just looking at him, he is amazing. Connor Cody is also their manager,
Yeah.
which I find funny. So there are a few really good teams in here, which you are obviously going to be battling against.
I mean, what I'd really like to see would be me against Tottenham in the final, and then Spurs do me a favour and let me win.
I'd love that too, because Spurs have an unbelievable team.
Yeah.
Alex Pogue is their centre-back. I inquired
think
about,
they're
couldn't
going to
get
be
him.
favourites.
Yeah, I think it's well, Marco Rose is the manager too, and
Yeah.
we've already seen how much he's managed to do in this Glory Hunter series so far. So he's been dotted around a few
I think
different
it's
clubs.
just, when it goes to the knockout rounds, I just hope someone does me a favour
Yeah,
and knocks them out.
absolutely. Okay, so that's what you're lining up like for the Europa League. But what have I done to win the FA Cup? So I spent a lot more money, 267 million. Also, I sold a player to your club. So that was last year, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've sold quite a few players. Phil Beattie's gone. There was another. I sold another 367 million and brought in another 300 million. So many players have left the club, including I finally got rid of that player which was really annoying me, who kept going in at right back and is not a right back, and I don't need him for right midfield. So I got rid of him too. So many players have left. All players that I didn't really want to use or intend on using, and I got quite a lot of money for it. But what I did spend, I was also really happy with too. So, to begin with, I brought in a centre-back from Barcelona because I didn't want to spend all of my budget till I realised I could bring in loads. So this guy actually comes in, Turkish centre-back, not bad. But this man is insane for £65 million. That's my starting right midfielder.
Yeah.
Straight away, I've leveled up compared to what I had last season. Then we've got the man that you tried to sign last year at Bayern Munich, but he rejected you and went to
Yeah.
Liverpool. I've now got him. What an unbelievable midfielder he is. So happy with that one. This is a better centre-back, although he sometimes doesn't go into the side because I needed the left-sided. But I picked him up from Inter Milan. This is that Atalanta player that I was on about, £115 million. He is now my centre defensive midfielder, probably one of the best in the world. And he's only 20.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hell of a good boy.
Incredible. And then finally, we've got Freddie Sands, who's good with his hands. It's a goalkeeper. 27 years of age. He is the England international goalkeeper, and he is an upgrade from the goalkeeper that I previously had, who actually wasn't that bad, but
No.
Freddie Sands is just way better. So I'm sticking with basically the same formation, but I've changed a couple of player roles, including that DM position there, which is now a deep line playmaker on defend. This is what the team looks like. Again, as I mentioned, I would prefer it to be like that, but I'm not too worried about it. Finding a good right back, couldn't get one. Just couldn't get one.
Well, I got
They
the
don't
best-
exist.
I got the best one, that's why.
Yeah, they just don't exist, unfortunately. So I had to stick with Sakachi, who isn't bad, to be fair. Just not very good going forward. Defensively, he will do, and he's got good mental attributes as well. So, yeah, I mean, I've got some good options off the bench. I'm happy with the team. How has it been getting on, though? A little bit ropey. I lost to Leeds 2-1, which is a little bit unexpected, really. And I also drew to Brighton with Oscar Rada scoring 2 goals. But outside of that, I beat Chelsea, my former club, in the Community Shield. Beat Aston Villa 5-0, thinking that's amazing. Hull City 4-0, and then I only managed to beat Fylde 2-3 with my strong team. But never mind. I've actually got Tottenham up next as well. But again, I'm not really worried about this first half of the season.
No.
I'm worried about the second half with that FA Cup. So, let's see how Dad starts in the Europa League before we take a look at how I get on in that FA Cup and see if I can close the gap. Dad started the Europa League with 2 wins. However, it all started to go downhill from there. Because in the Serie A, it wasn't looking fantastic at all as he sat 6th place in the league. But where Dad cared the most, it still wasn't improving with some heavy losses. But this goal from a corner, however, might just save him. Because even with this terrible qualification campaign, the 3 wins gave him a 21st place finish, just scraping through. I, however, needed a replay to go through the 3rd round of the FA Cup. But a comfortable win against Huddersfield and it was on to Stoke in the 5th round. Some terrible penalties against Galatasaray and Dad's Juventus team scrapes through to the round of 16 of the Europa League. Or is it Dad's Juventus team anymore? Because after a 1-0 loss to Napoli in the league, Dad was fired. Oh dear, Dad. Sacked.
I was getting better. When I was at one stage, I was in 19th in the league, wasn't I? And I pulled it up to 9th, something like 9th or 8th. And then I scraped into the knockout rounds, didn't I? But I had Galatasaray, and I thought that's going to be an hard one. And I only won 1-0 at home, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm gone. I'm definitely gone now. And I lost to them, but I
beat them on penalties.
So I was through with Tottenham to play, and I thought, all right, I'm going to struggle with Tottenham. I didn't even get a chance. They just sacked me.
Yeah. Sacked before you faced Tottenham in the Europa League. However, they did get battered in the Europa League.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was 3-0 and 2-0, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But hilariously, then the Tottenham job became available, and it's still there now.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the season. There's a few clubs out there actually, which you might be interested in, because there's another one, by the looks of it, that's in the Europa League, in the same division at AC Milan, who, yes, are in the Europa League. But is there a chance that I also might be going for that Europa League spot?
I hope not.
So, Bayer Leverkusen, they finished in 10th. They're not going to be in Europa League whatsoever. Tottenham only finished in 10th place.
Yeah.
But look who was champions.
You went by miles, mate, as well, didn't you?
11 points.
I'm worried now.
Oscarado with 28. The highest average rating, the highest amount of assists, man of the match, and clean sheets, which meant I was playing incredibly well. So let's dive more into that Premier League season. Very good from me, and by the looks of it, if we go by past positions, once I got up there was no stopping me. No. I held on to it,
to be honest,
all the way through.
You had a hell of a squad, though, didn't you?
Got a great team.
Yeah.
Got a fantastic team. But did we carry this team all the way and lift the FA Cup? No! So cursed! Oh, I don't believe it.
No, I don't believe it either.
Runners up.
Lost on
Everton.
Lost on penalties. Where did they finish in the league?
3rd.
Did they?
They finished in 3rd. 1 penalty missed. Archie Gray.
We've spoken about him so much, coming through the ranks, haven't we?
Yeah. I'm absolutely gutted.
Yeah, I am as well, mate.
Well, I had to stay because this is my only, like, there's no point in me going for the Europa League right now. I'm in the best position I can to get the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I just cannot. This might be, I think it's like my 9th attempt at the FA Cup, and I still cannot win it.
It is a problem. Like we've all been saying all the way through a cup game, you lose one game and you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, my run to get there, let's have a look at that, because I did see some tasty teams in there. So 3rd round, we were against West Brom, knocked them out on a replay. 4th round was Huddersfield 3-1. 5th round, 1-0 against Stoke.
You haven't really come up against anybody hard yet.
Chelsea, my old team, thank you very much, who knocked me out last season. Semi-final, Liverpool. That was a tricky one as well. But then the other Merseyside team managed to beat me, Everton. What makes it worse is, well, they finished in 4th. What makes it worse is their key player. It's a player that I sold to them at the start of the season for £55 million. Oh, my God, I can't believe that. Cannot believe that. I won the other one. I think that's the 6th time I've won that one.
Fulham were a good side. We did mention Fulham, didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't know where they did do in the.
They were in Europa League semi-final.
I know they knocked Spurs out, didn't they?
Yeah.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So that was a team I wish I'd gone for. But the job
couldn't
never come available, did it?
They won the Europa League final.
Did they?
They beat Villarreal in the final. That is mental. They also knocked out Schalke along the way. The other team that you could have gone for. Oh my God.
Well, we did mention Spurs and Villa. Fulham were going to be the two teams to watch, weren't they? Spurs knocked me out, and then Fulham knocked them out.
I mean, there's only one team to go for in Europa League, in the English League, and that's Leeds. So it's not really an appealing one because I don't think they have that good of a team. That's their key player, who is very good, but the rest of the side isn't that fantastic, to be honest.
What about the other leagues?
So, I mean, across the other leagues, we know about AC Milan. Barcelona, at one point, were down in 10th.
I nearly applied for the job, didn't I? Because they were unsecure, weren't they?
But they managed to salvage their season and finished in 4th, which is Champions League. So Villarreal, who just got to the final, is there. So's Espanyol, but I imagine they're not amazing right now. They've got a very good centre-back there, but outside of that, nothing really to write home about. The other divisions in League 1, and that's kind of where you're looking like, really? Marseille and Angers. Marseille maybe, but I haven't really seen too much about them at all in this whole time that we've been doing Glory Hunter. So I wouldn't really say that it looks like it's going to be either Lazio or Milan for you.
German league?
Bundesliga, we noticed that Leverkusen finished really far down.
Yeah.
Leipzig are in Europa League. That was the other team, wasn't it? No. I think they've just replaced their manager.
They've just replaced it. I did see that.
Yeah. So I don't think that job's going to become available. Simone Inzaghi is just joined, we think. Let's have a look. So managers, he's been there for 360 days. He was insecure.
Yeah.
So he might still be there. I mean, let's have a look. If we go on yours, we can see it a little bit better. The insecure teams, he's not there though. So I am surprised with that. There was a time where he was really insecure, but he's managed to salvage his job. He's stable now. He
won the last 4 games, didn't he?
Yeah.
Back into it.
So I think your only option at the minute, Dad, is whether you go for that AC Milan team. I mean, their team looks okay. They got this man here on the wing. He looks quite good. Let's have a look. Tactics, we can see. So Mariani up front, that's their striker. That's already better than what you had.
Yeah.
Keita on the left. Wow.
He's a good winger.
Is that the one from Leipzig last season? Because he came up quite a few times, didn't he, on mine. I almost pulled the trigger. Centre midfielder's very good, but he's leaving. That centre midfielder's very good, and he's only 19.
That's good then.
That name, which you would never be able to pronounce. They've got a good team, Dad.
He's only 19.
Yeah. They've got a very good team. This could be the team that you go for and have another crack at it.
What's the budget? Are they going to give me any money? Because Juventus gave me no money today.
6 million. However, we are only on the 31st of May, so it might not have transpired yet where they're giving you what they have across the next season, but they don't actually have a lot in their overall balance, so you might not have anything either.
No.
So, it's a season which it feels like both of us are cursed.
Just a curiosity, where did Juventus finish? Because I can't see it there.
8th. Yeah. Which means they just dropped out.
Yeah.
But when you had them at one point, they were like 16th.
I got them in the 9th. I think that was the best I got them in the 9th.
So yeah, it's a season of absolute nothing, really. I came so close. We could have been battling both for this AC Milan job, which would have been hilarious. But no, I think I'm going to have to stick around and see if I can make this Newcastle team any better with £124 million and a transfer budget of 1.47, so it gives me about 180 million. I'm sure I can find somebody to spend that on and hopefully win the FA Cup next season.
I think this could be my last season being on my own. I think
no, you're just saying that just to jinx me.
I know. That's what I like about it.
Yeah,
I can see you winning the FA Cup easy next season with 180 million in the team you got.
I bet. All right, well, we'll have a look at the trophy cabinets. But not much changed. So again, it's no trophies to add to either cabinet, which still means Dad just needs that Europa League. But has his reputation now been tarnished? Meanwhile, I am being very successful at Newcastle. I just can't win that damn FA Cup.